Hello, hello, and welcome. Hello, and thank you for joining me for dinner and convo. Now, where's my, hold on, I'm gonna put my ring light on my phone. I wanna make sure y'all see me in all of my gloriness. Gloriness. Anyways, thank you for joining me. Welcome to Chelle's Closet. While you here, go ahead and hit the thumbs up button. And you see that button right down there? Go ahead and hit that subscribe button. To the right of that is a little bell. You definitely want to hit that because I'm about to be posting some stuff up on my page. Hold on. It looks a little blurry. I think that's just a light back there. But yeah, you definitely want to tune in to everything that I have going on. Um, Also, if you have a moment, go right up here to the community tab and vote, 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 vote. Vote for a song, any song you want to hear me sing this coming Saturday for Saturday Night Vibes. Thank you to coming over, to those of you who came over last night. That was actually pretty fun. I'm getting more comfortable on the camera, more comfortable singing. It's just all about being comfortable. Tonight for dinner and convo, I am feasting on mangoes and yellow dragon fruit. Um, I am trying to figure out what I'm going to do. I've done tea detox. I've done juicing. I'm thinking March. I'm going to do smoothies and juice and detox. I'm gonna do a combination of those and just eat healthy. Like after I get some more Nigerian, I have to get some more Nigerian food because that was bomb. So after I get Nigerian, oh, I have to do. I should just do like a week of international food, and then I'll start. I don't know. I'll figure it out. I'll figure it out. Today's topic, ladies and gentlemen, and non-binary people, is generational curses. And I chose that as a topic because somebody FaceTimed me and I didn't even know it. Sorry, bro. I just saw that you FaceTimed me. But now everything's falling. I chose that as a topic because um I feel like there are a lot of things that people experience, like mainly I experience, and I feel like some things aren't talked about. And for me, um, talking about things help me overcome or get through or move past or let go of things. Um, I do feel like I've been looking at this. So I grew up in church, and I've been looking at this from a religious view, or I have looked at this from a religious view. But in the process of me going on a journey through healing and self discovery, I have come to understand. Now, I should probably give you this disclaimer: the views and opinions that are expressed in this live are just those from me. These are my views and opinions. You are entitled to have your own view, your own opinion, and I encourage you to share it with me in the chat box. Um, I just feel like a lot of things uh, continue on mainly because no one talks about them. It's like everybody knows about it, but no one talks about it. No one. It's like a subject that's like perfect example, like molestation. Molestation is something that touches a lot of people, but nobody really talks about it. It's sort of like, well, it happened to you, it happened to me. I just learned to get over it. You should get over it too. When in reality, it should be addressed, especially if the person who is doing the molesting is still around. If they're still alive, they're still around, you still interact with them, it should most definitely be addressed. So tonight we're gonna talk about some topics, that's or not just topics, some things that are considered generational curses. We're going to talk about, how you heal through those things. I'm all for healing, and this is what I say. When I say heal through, I'm not one for going over. I'm not one for going around. I'm one for going right through. Because when you go through something, you ultimately destroy it. It's no longer the big thing that it was. It's pieces now. So that's just my philosophy. That's my philosophy. Um, and like I said, like I'm healing. I am discovering more things about myself, and in talking to myself, I was like, you know what? I wonder who else feels like this. I wonder who else looks at it like this, or how do other people look at it. I know growing up in church, it was like, oh, it's a generational curse if this keeps happening. But when I step back, oh, I got this. Gotta have this when you have like mangoes or pineapples or cantaloupes or anything. But I looked at it from the point of view where it's like a lot of things a lot of things could be dead. Like a lot of things could end. A lot of things should end because they should be addressed. Like I'm gonna go on record and say this. I am 40 years old, right? I'm 40 years old. I do not feel that the things that I experienced as a young person, as a teenager, um, my younger siblings should experience. And that's me saying like, okay, if I went through something, me personally, I talked about everything. Everything. I didn't care. I just talked about it. I didn't care who got in trouble. I didn't care how it came back on me. I didn't care because I knew one thing. I was not going to hold on to it. And I knew that you wasn't going to do what you did to me to anybody else that I love because I know how it made me feel. That's just me. Me as a person, I think I don't want anyone to experience hurt. That's the best way I'm gonna say it. I don't want anyone to experience hurt, especially if it comes from me. I don't want you. That's not my intentions to hurt anyone. So when I don't know if my video uploaded now or there's a video. It's being uploaded right now. It's uploading. Um, but in the video, I said that I am doing myself a great disservice. Like I've known my entire life, like I use my voice, I share my experiences. But this situation that I am going through right now, I just chose to be silent about it. And in the process of me being silent, I was harming myself, not like cutting or anything like that. I was doing myself a great disservice by not acknowledging my feelings. I was covering for my wife. I was covering for the whole situation. And this morning in meditation, I was meditating, and then like reality, like I got stripped all the way down of everything that I thought to be true, everything that I thought I knew, everything. I was just stripped down to the bare me, and I cried because I am angry. I am angry at this situation. I am angry of how the situation came about. Um, and part of the reason why I'm angry is because the silence. It's the silence for me that made me angry. Like, how could I allow myself to be in this situation where I'm being silent about being hurt? I am hurt. When I tell y'all that hurt, breakups are hard, they are hard. But then I started thinking about the generational things, about how I've watched my mom, like, people say all manner of things to my mom and do all manner of things to my mom, and she just be silent. Like, she knows the truth, she knows what it really is, and she just be silent. And I would look at that and I was like, oh, I'm going to model myself after that silence. Like, I don't have to respond, I don't have to do any of that. But today during meditation, it was like, no. People say and do things because no one addresses the fact that they're saying and doing those things. So part of that is generational stuff. People get away with being loud and boisterous and making fun of people and doing all of those things because that is a cycle that has just keep going, and it continues. And I'm just like, you know what? I'm getting off the carousel reel of silence and covering and all of that. I'm beyond all that right now. The buck stops here. At this present time in my life, I'm no longer being silent. Um, I want to come and just talking, like, talking about generational curses, right? Generational things that have passed down from your mother, your father, your parents, your sisters and brothers, your grandparents, anybody in your family. Like, molestation, something that, which is crazy, something that a lot of people experiences. Now, you may come from, I didn't come from a family where it was like, what happens in this house stays in this house. I didn't come from that family. And I understand in theory, I understand that. However, the reality of it is there's a lot of times shit be happening in people's houses that needs to be addressed. Period. There's a lot of shit that be happening that needs to be addressed. And people don't understand because they feel like they've overcome something that the next person, it will be easy for the next person because oh, I overcame it, I'm good, look at me, woohoo, I'm successful. But you don't know, when I go home and ain't no lights on, or I'm by myself, I'm smoking or drinking, or I'm doing whatever I need to do to cope with this behind closed doors. I'm not in that space no more. I'm not in the space of just being silent and watch as all this stuff happening. No, I'm in the space of, I've been silent for too long. Even when I talk about in the aspect of general curses, we have been silent for too long. A lot of these things that are curses aren't really curses. It's just people haven't addressed them. People need to address them. Our family members, spiritual leaders need to address them. Parents need to address. Things need to be addressed. I'm not saying address them openly, but I am saying that they need to be addressed. And I mean address them for a point, from a position where, listen, this happened. This will no longer happen. And here's what we're going to do to make sure that things are changed. I've talked multiple times to parents. Now, I don't have any kids, but I have talked multiple times to parents about showing your children love and support and encouragement and telling them how much you love them. I'm not doing that just because I have nothing better to do with my life, because I'm saying these things because um, what you won't do, somebody else definitely will. And the person who will destroy, destroy, destroy. They will destroy your child's life. Destroy. We um we have to normalize using our voices. That's why if you watch any one of my videos, you see me say use your voice. That's mainly because people are remaining silent. Silence is the going thing right now. You heard somebody did some really jacked up stuff to you, and instead of you being saying what happened, you being silent. I get it. It's a noble thing to be silent. It's a noble thing to protect. But listen, at this point, at this juncture in your life, you have to acknowledge your feelings. You have to make sure that your feelings are felt, heard, seen, and felt. Heard, seen, and felt. I have to remember to eat sometimes. It is dinner and convo. Um, I just feel deeply. I deeply feel like so many things happen in our lives. Um, Mainly because there's no communication. Families, there's no communication. Like I'll give you something really simple, right? Um, when it comes to families, right? It's like, hey, this is my brother, this is my sister, this is my mother, cousin, auntie, uncle, and I'm supposed to love them because they're my family. It's obligational love. When in reality, your mother hurts you, your father can hurt you, your brother, your sisters, your auntie, all of these people can hurt you. And it's like, oh, because that's my auntie or my uncle or that's my brother or sister, like that's what families do. That's the going thing. That's what families do. Families argue and they fight and they do all these things, and then next thing you know, it's like, oh, we on to the next thing. But that issue is still unresolved. And then next thing you know, you grow up and now you doing the same thing that was done to you to the next generation. Generational generational abuse, generational hurt, uh, generational scars. Um, like imagine this, right? Imagine growing up in a family where um, alcoholism. Alcoholism is a family trait. Oddly enough, in doing my ancestry and just talking to different family members in my family, I understand that alcoholism is something that like is in generations of my family. So where there's like there's I have siblings, and of my siblings, I would say there's two that drink, one that doesn't drink or smoke or do anything. Pretty much, he's just there. No, he doesn't drink or smoke, but you know he does whatever he does. But and then there's two that drink. I was one that was definitely a drinker. And then I realized that I was what they call a functioning alcoholic. Like I could drink. Like when I tell you I drink, and I'm not laughing at the fact that I could drink. I'm laughing at the fact like I would shock myself at how much I would drink. And I was one of those drinks with no chasers, and my drink was either Jack Daniels, that was my go-to drink, or Jose Cuervo. Those were my two go-to drinks. No chasers, no nothing, just straight throwback to the head. And I was functioning. I could function like I'm functioning right now. I don't drink anymore, but I could function But I know that I had just drunk a lot. And so then one day just got to the root of why I was drinking. I'm not saying that everybody who drinks have a, a serious issue as to why they drink, but you might want to check that out because that could be. But what I'm saying is that when I got to the root of why I was drinking, um, it didn't make sense for me to drink. I was drinking because I was trying to get rid of the things that was in my head. Like I was trying to not feel. I was trying to just not feel. I was just trying to be in the world and not feel, but that's impossible for me. It's impossible. I would be, when I tell y'all, I would be gone, like gone, gone. But I could still function. I knew that alcohol wasn't my thing. That's how I knew that alcohol wasn't my thing. And that's how I also knew that it was time for me to get some help. And then I started going to therapy. I've told y'all my story about therapy before, but I'm gonna tell y'all my story about therapy again because it fits in the whole generational curse thing, right? Um, let me, you know what? Let me just read y'all the definition of generational curse, or this is a definition that best helped me express where I'm at with generational curse. It says it describes the cumulative effort on a person or things that their ancestors did, believed, or practiced in the past, and a consequence of an ancestor's actions, beliefs, and are being passed down. Now, before I wasn't, like I believe in religious and spiritual stuff. I believe to a certain extent, but when took a look, right, I'm gonna just tell y'all a little bit about me and my family. I was the first. So my grandmother wasn't married. My mother wasn't married, and then I got married. I am married. Ooh. I am married. So I didn't really have a marriage to model. Like say, "Ooh, when I get married, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do that." But what I did realize, so this is how I entered into my marriage. I entered into my marriage understanding that communication, having the ability to communicate and talk or express your feelings, what you're thinking, all of those things. I understood that that was a really big part. It was a really big part of my life in general, but I understood how that could help um, make the relationship stronger. So in my marriage, I was always, communicating how I felt, what I thought, what I liked, what I didn't like. I was always, hey, what are your likes, dislikes? How are you feeling? What you think? What are your plans for today? Like that was always me. And in understanding who my wife was, understanding her, where she come from, her environment, that was something that was difficult for her. I didn't press the issue. I did just figure out ways how we can make it work. Um, but I mentioned my grandmother and my mother because they weren't married. And maybe part of me got married because I was like, I didn't want to be like them and not get married. But I honestly feel like the part of me that got married was because I felt in love. And I wasn't in love because of material things. I wasn't in love. I was just happy, because you pray and you want someone that like loves you for you, and that's what I thought it was. Apparently, it ultimately became something else. But it's just understanding that um, maybe I would have been better off not being married. Maybe I would have followed the tradition, followed the generational things, or even spoke to them. This is what I felt like I should have did. I should have spoke to them where I can't speak to my grandmother because she's no longer here. But just spoke to my mom on how come she never got married. Like, what was it about marriage that she just decided she didn't want to get married? maybe she does want to get married, and I just never. You know what? I'm gonna talk to my mom later today, um, just to see. Um, I just it's this is. I feel like a lot of decisions that people make, they make those decisions not thinking how it will long termly affect everyone else. They just make the decision at the present time. I think families, I think everybody struggle, not just my family. I think everybody family struggles with things like there's like people make jokes like we all know a crackhead, we all know somebody who's gay, we all know somebody who got a touch of mental illness, we all know somebody who has cancer. Like if we go down the list, like we all could say, yeah, I know somebody like that. Yeah, I know, yeah, this has happened in my family. But the reality of it is who has stood up and said, you know what? I think it shouldn't go beyond me. I feel like I always felt like my younger siblings should never, should have never, won't ever um have to experience anything that I experienced. Now, granted, life is what it is. However, there are some things that people should never experience. Never. That's why, like, I'm always when my friends, anybody who know me, if you had a drink with me or went to a party with me, and I'm like, hey, um, I'll be the designated driver. For a long time, I was a designated driver, mainly because I was like, you know what? I don't see the sense in saying, oh, I only had one drink. I'll tell you a story. It's the truth, but y'all know what I'm saying. One day, I was drinking and driving. Told y'all like I felt fine. I was normal. I was doing what I did. And I fell asleep at a stoplight. And it seemed like it was a split, like you close your eyes and you just sleep and you woke up. No, I mean I was asleep at the stoplight. Sleep. And when I woke up, I pulled over and I just started crying. And that's why if you ask anybody, they like, well, she don't drink. It was in that moment, right? Um, the severity of how my life could have changed. Like I could have crashed. Anybody could have crashed into me. I could have got charged with a DUI. It's so many different variables that could have happened. But I was grateful that um, I realized that. I realized that that was a stupid decision. That was dumb. And I had just got the car too. Ugh, it was a really crazy decision. So because of that, whenever I go to parties or whenever I'm hanging around people and they're drinking, the first thing I'm going to say is, hey, I'll be the designated driver. Because the last thing I want to hear or know or read is that anybody that I love has died because they were in a car accident and their blood alcohol level was where they shouldn't have been behind the wheel. That's me. Um, I encourage everyone to find their own path in life. While I did have bad experiences when it came to alcohol, well, that was only had two experiences, but that was more than enough for me. I'm not one of those people that I have to keep bumping my head before I get it. No, I got it clear as day. And if I see you going down a road where it's like, hey, there's a brick wall up there, I'm not just gonna sit by and like, oh, they'll get to that brick wall and figure out it's a brick wall. No, I'm going to open my mouth and I'm gonna say, listen, 2 blocks up. Oh, hold on. Sorry, I had a candle burning. 2 blocks up. There's a brick wall up there, and you might want to be careful. Hey, Renee, how are you? there's a brick wall up there. You might want to be careful. And before you get to the brick wall, there's two potholes, one on the left, one on the right, and then there's a brick wall. Now, whatever you do with that information, that's up to you. But I'm going to tell you. Um, what was um I just feel like there's a lot of people struggling. I feel like they're not struggling in the sense of, oh, I don't know where to go, but it's struggling in the sense of why me? Like um someone used to say all the time, they used to say, I never asked to be here. I'm not okay. I'm getting more comfortable with saying that. I am not okay. I am currently in the process of healing. I'm in the healing process. Um, whew, it takes a lot to say that. And I say this is another thing. I say it takes a lot to say that because I'm usually one that like has it all together, or I know what it is. I know I'm a planner. I put it all together. But for the last 6 months, being totally honest, I don't know shit. I don't know shit. The stuff I told y'all earlier, while I was meditating, I got stripped of everything that I thought I knew. I don't know anything. I know at this point, at this present moment, all I know is music and generational curses. And during meditation this morning, I realized that I was hiding behind silence. And silence is something that I use as a way, or I was using as a way to protect me. When in reality, I wasn't protecting anything. See, this is what I'm saying. I wasn't protecting anything. I haven't protected anything. I just was giving myself a peace of mind by just not saying anything and watching as things was happening. And uh, it wasn't until I just got a video. I just got a video and then I watched the video. It's one thing, like it's one thing to it's one thing to be experiencing, be walking through something. That's one thing. But it's another thing when you open your mouth and say, "Hey, I'm going through a divorce right now. I never asked for it. I didn't even want it. I could have fought, but when I look at the situation, um, it was not in my best interest to do that. And right now, I'm hands off. That's just where I'm at. I could fight, and then I said to myself, I've been fighting. I've been fighting. I've been doing everything that I can to show, improve, and tell. Um, but I'm just tired of fighting. I'm tired of having it all together. I'm tired of all of those things. I'm not giving up, nothing like that. I'm just saying, like, I'm tired of going above and beyond and still getting scraps. So, what I'm going to do is, I'm going to sit back and I'm going to do what I love to do every day. And whatever comes, comes. Whatever leaves, whatever, it's whatever. It's whatever right now. That's where I am. Um, in the process of being at it's whatever, I've been um, healing from things, where the silence is definitely something that it's carried over from my childhood all the way until now. um, but I'm choosing not to be silent anymore. I'm just not gonna be silent. uh, like I said, I finally saw a video. Like, people were asking me about the video, and I just didn't. I literally was clueless to what they were talking about. And then someone decided to send it to me. And at first, I was like, I'm not gonna watch this. I mean, what for what? And then I watched the video. Um, And in the video, um, I never thought I would have heard the person who I was supposed to spend the rest of my life with say the things that she said. But she said them, looking right into the camera, as I'm looking right into the camera right now, and she said them. And this isn't going to be about that because I reserved a special time and a special date for that. But this is um, just to go in with the generational curses thing. Um, I saw that and I just internalized all of that. Everything she said, I internalized it, and it hurt. It hurt. I'm putting words to my feelings. It hurt to hear that. It definitely hurt. And and then I meditated, and then it was just like, you are doing yourself a great disservice by being quiet. Generational curses, I tell you. I didn't think anything of it until I was just like, why am I being silent? I didn't do anything. I didn't leave her. I didn't do or say anything. I've just been sitting here making music, making videos. That's all I've been doing. And then I said, I am going to go on a journey to self discovery and healing. And now I'm going to give you a disclaimer because what I should have thought, what I should have said, I should have researched some stuff. I should have did a lot of things. Because I didn't know that this journey was going to take me down some places or back to some places that I thought I had. I was good on those places, but the reality of it was I pacified myself. It's okay. You okay? When in reality, I was not okay. So when you ask me how am I am not okay. I know one day I will be okay, but right now I am not okay. Um, I'm sure I'm not the first person to be getting a divorce. I'm sure I'm not the first person y'all saw on YouTube talking about getting a divorce. Um, Maybe you are getting a divorce also, or you just recently out of the divorce, or you're planning to get married. I'm not here to talk to you about not getting married because that's not my place. But what I will tell you is this: um, if you have anything within yourself that you have not accepted and acknowledged or even talked about, you probably want to do that before you think about spending the rest of your life with someone else. That's just a friendly probably want to do that. Because when you plan to spend your life with someone else, you not only have your things, but you take on the things that comes with them. And sometimes the things that come with people that we get in relationship with is a lot stronger than the things that you have. Sorry, my lips was a little dry. Um, I'm just in a place where I'm surrounding myself with positive people, people who continue to hold me accountable for everything, everything, holding me accountable for everything. Um, when all of this actually happened, I definitely worked on the relationship that I have with my mother. Um, I am the only girl, so I understood the relationship that my mother had with her mother, and it was a conscious decision that I made was to say, you know what, I'm going to um, be different with my mom. I'm going to be different with my mom. Like, I didn't understand a lot of the things that she did when I was growing up. But now, as a 40-year-old woman, I completely understand. When I tell you, like, I completely understand a lot of things. I do. I do. And I understand that a lot of the decisions that was made for me um, kind of shaped where I am in my life right now. Um, had I not went to the schools I went to, had I not been a part of the clubs I was able to be a part of, I probably would have a different mindset when it comes to life. I probably wouldn't be as ambitious as I am. I probably um, wouldn't be as courageous as I am. When I tell y'all, like, I literally, like I'm looking at y'all, like, this is how close a Ku Klux Klan member was, like, standing, like, there. Like, I literally, listen, I got stories. Don't worry, I got y'all for story time. Um, yeah, I've overcome a lot. I know there's a lot more that I still have to overcome. I'm 40. I lived for 40 years. There's so many experiences in my life. Like when I say the whole I was hiding behind a veil of silence. I'm accustomed to being silenced. I'm accustomed to people gonna say what they want to say, and I was accustomed to that because that's what I watched. I watched people do things to my mom, and she just still making sure that they are okay. She's still like going above and beyond. Like, I literally watched this firsthand, and I was like, you be like, I'm not gonna be like my mom. I'm not gonna be like my parents. I'm nothing like my parents. And then when you actually sit back and you look at your life and be like, damn, I was trying so hard not to be like them, only to become them. Now, my mom's not a bad person. She just goes above and beyond. And then I started looking like, damn, I'm going above and beyond. Let me tell you guys. Hi, Mr. Wise. Let me tell you guys. So I've been going through this situation for 6 months. All of the people that was like hanging out with us and coming over to our house, um, um, I I want to tell y'all about that at the end of all of this. At the end. Thank you, Mr. Weiss. But I'm going to tell you about this at the end of it. See the smile that I got right? I'm going to tell y'all about this. So all the people that were hanging out, that was coming over, that was partying, that was eating the food, like doing all of those things. I've been going through this for 6 months, and I'm going to tell you. Mm, 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 mm. Outside of my family, I'm 40 years old. I'm going to tell you, outside of my family, there has only been 4 people that have called me or even cared to see how I was doing or anything. Now, this is a thing for me because when I think about all of the people that I was like assisting with, people that have come to my, I'm gonna say it again, people that have come to my house and stayed to the wee hours of the morning or just slept over because their family had put them out. Like, none of those people called me. But I'm sure that they saw the same video that I saw. And that video I'm going to talk about at a later time. But I'm sure that they saw the same video that I saw because it was out on social media. Um, yeah. So when you think that you mean more to people than you actually mean, I actually even had, there was one individual that I called, I called because they have a business, and someone I know wanted to, purchase things from their business. So I was like, hey, I sent them a message like, hey, are you, do you still have these products? And so um, they didn't answer. A day go by, so I called like, hey, what's up? Like, do you still, this person is trying to purchase, you wanted to connect with this person. This person is trying to purchase from your business. And they were like, oh, I'm your wife's friend. I said, I done been to your house. You done cooked us food. We done all hung out together. So what you're saying to me is that you are choosing sides. Now, as an adult, and I'm saying this because I'm really meaning this as an adult. I don't choose sides. I don't if I'm not, oh, because so and so don't talk to you, I'm not gonna talk to you. That's generational. That's that stuff. I politely hung up the phone and I just said to myself, wow, I was at your house, at your dinner table. I'm not one of those people that do that. Like, I don't do that. The crazy thing is, like, you would think that, given the circumstances I'm experiencing, that I would be angry or bitter or just something other than what I am. But I am actually, I am in a good space in my life. Don't worry. We're going to talk about that at another day, at another time. But I am in such a good space in my life, realizing that there are generational things that were keeping me from happiness. Ooh, generational things keeping me from happiness. Um, One of those things was religion. Yes, I'm talking about religion. This is no disrespect to anyone who is religious. This is no disrespect to anyone who attends church. It's just for me, it's some things that I am just not willing to continue on. I'm just not. There's a lot of things that happen in spiritual settings that causes people to lose sense that is not common. It's called common sense, but I say sense is not common because a lot of people don't have common sense. Um, and you give everything to Jesus. Now, I'm not saying you shouldn't give things to Jesus, but what I'm gonna say is when you do some downright uh, evil stuff, things that you know in the back of your head, if somebody ever did this to you, you know how you will respond. I know that there is a lot of church people who do that. Church people will talk about you like a dog, will run your name through the mud, will say Jesus is the reason why you are getting a divorce right now because you know God don't. That's what church people do. Church people also hide behind Jesus by saying God is going to heal things, right? If you never acknowledge, if you never cast your cares or put your burdens on the altar, how is Jesus supposed to heal them? How does he? I mean, I know he's all knowing, and I know that he's omnipresent. I know he's all of those things. But if you have never acknowledged, or even if you come into the knowledge of things that are happening, and they are never addressed, do how is it healed? Is it healed? Because I'm gonna tell you my personal experience. I gave my disclaimer at the beginning, but if you are just tuning in, I'll give it to you again. The views and opinions that are expressed in this live are mine. This is my channel. This is I'm speaking for myself. So when I say I cast a lot of my cares on the altar, actually, some of the things that happened to me in a religious building, a place of worship, the hospital, whatever term you want to use. It happened to me there. Um, so when it comes to religion and people feeling like, oh, because you gay, it's happening because you gay, and God don't want you to be gay. If God didn't want me to be gay, I wouldn't be here. Hi, I wouldn't be breathing. Now that we got that out the way, um, I feel like a lot of times people uh, use religion as a reason to condemn rather than uplift, especially when God is love. God is love and you represent God, so that means that you should be loved. But that's a topic for a whole nother time. But that has something to do with generational things too, because a lot of times people who grow up in church here's the same thing. Like, guaranteed, right? If you ever been to church, I guarantee you heard that God or being a homosexual is abomination. Guaranteed you heard that, right? Um, have you ever talked to a person that's gay? Or was it the whole abomination thing that just caused you to be like, you gay, and then talking to you is gonna turn me gay, or it being in the same place with you is gonna cause me to be gay? When in reality is if you take the time, hi, my name is Chelle and I'm gay. And I don't treat people horribly. I grew up in church. I don't talk about people. I don't do any of that because I understand we're all humans. We are all humans that survived a global pandemic where it could have wiped everyone out, but whoever is controlling all of this decided to leave us here. So I said to myself, once I crossed over into 2021, that if I was given the opportunity to cross over to 2021, I was going to talk about all of the things that I felt someone should have talked to me about. Hi, welcome to Dinner and Convo. And we're talking about generational curses right now. That's that's why I'm talking about generational curses. That's why last week I talked about taboo topics of sex and mental health and abandonment and just all of the things that we don't talk about, especially in the black community. And I'm not singling us out. We all know the reality of it. You got Jesus. You got Jesus. You don't go to therapy. You don't seek out therapy. We not you don't go to therapy because then stuff will start entering in your mind. And in reality, it's like, no, you should be dealing with things of your mind. Like, I would tell you guys the abandonment I experienced from my parents, which is crazy because I lived with my mom. I lived with my mom. Well, for some time I lived with my grandmother, but like from 15 up on up, I lived with my mom. Hey Jazz, finally you made it. How was your vacation? Yeah, I live with my mom and my dad was around. He was where he was, but it wasn't until 40 shorty. It wasn't until 40. It's not like I didn't have conversations with my parents before. This is just me and what I do. Like, I opened the door. They probably didn't even know that the door needed to be open, but I went and I told my mom, like, listen, I want to have a relationship with you. I don't want to continue on the mother and daughter, and just because you're my mother, I'm going to respect you in that manner. I want to have an open relationship with you. I want to have a relationship with you. I want to be able to come to you and share with you things that are going on with me, and you give your opinion about those things because you've been there. You're older than me. You can share with me some things that I probably wouldn't even look at the situation. This is how I be when I talk to my brothers. Like, me and my brothers have an amazing relationship, mainly because I didn't want it to be like, oh, I was gonna be the sister, the older sister that just left and didn't give anything back to my siblings. No, I didn't just go to college because I wanted to go to college. I wanted to show, like, yeah, we grew up in the hood, but you can go and achieve and be anything. My little brother told me he wanted to be an airline pilot. Now, I laughed. He said, no, he didn't say he wanted to be an airline pilot. He said he wanted to own his own fleet of airlines. And I looked at him and I was like, I don't know where you got that from, but I do know where you got that from because both him and I was shipped to chapter 220. That's another story time. We went to we were placed in totally different environments. So those environments instilled in us the ability that we can do whatever we see, whatever Mr. Wise, hey, we can do it. I'm just here to talk about things. I feel like things happen generationally, because no one talks about them. If no one has ever asked you, why do you feel bad? Or why do you drink? Why do you drink? Why do you drink so much? Why do you smoke so much? Why do you go out every weekend? If nobody ever asks you those questions, I guarantee you, you can ask somebody that question and they've probably been waiting. They probably do this when you ask them that question. Why do you drink so much? That's because they've been waiting for somebody to ask them that. They've been waiting for somebody to ask them, why do they go out all the time? Why do you buy things like everyone was like, why do they stand outside for Jordans and spend all their money on that when they could spend money over here? Who's telling them that? Who's telling them that you could take that $200 that you're gonna go spend on them Jordans? I don't buy Jordans. I buy Converse. But you could take that $200 you're gonna spend on that Jordan, set you up an LLC, get you an EIN, and put that money in your bank account. Now you have a business where you can get money. But who's telling kids that? Who's telling kids? Who's telling adults that? Who's telling people that the relationship that you just got off, you might want to take a couple of months just to find yourself again, just to heal yourself over the things that you've been through before you hop into another relationship, because now you're just going to add baggage on top of baggage, including the baggage that you grew up with. So that's just a bunch of baggage. You just a whole suitcase factory. Me, on the other hand, I'm here to tell y'all, if you are in a relationship and your relationship is on the rocks, or you don't even know where you are in your relationship, talk to the person that you are in a relationship with. I'm here to tell you, if you are at your job and you complain every day about going to your job, you know you don't want to be there, so why are you still there? If you thought, okay, I'm going to start a business, but you are afraid because we are experiencing a global pandemic on if you should start a business, did you know that there is a lot of money out here for people that are starting businesses? If you are a child or if you are a teenager and you want to start a YouTube and you don't have the right camera or you don't have this, I shoot every video you have ever seen on this channel on my iPhone. Yep, in 4K, my iPhone. And right now I got a little ring light that actually was a gift to me, and I'm using that. I'm using what I have until I can get what I want so that I can do. See what I'm saying? You see what I'm saying? I'm gonna be that person for y'all that I wish somebody was for me. If you feel like you have times where you just want to cry and you don't want to get out of bed or you don't want to do anything, I'm not a therapist or anything like that, but there's times where there's something more going on and you probably want to talk to somebody about that. If you feel like there's things in your past that you're struggling with, whether you've been molested, whether you were the person molesting people, or whether you were taken advantage of, or whatever your situation is, you should definitely talk to someone, because it might not be affecting you right now. Things always have a way of coming out. Always. I said to myself, I am okay. But the reality of it is I'm not okay. I'm hurt. I'm sad. I'm wishing things would change. But the reality of it is, I'm gonna keep saying reality because I'm living in reality. Things won't change until people change. And if people don't know that they need to change, nothing will ever change. Nothing would ever change. I was watching, or I'm be on TikTok a lot. So I was on TikTok and this lady came up on TikTok and she said, I do not tell my kids that they do not have to hug their family members. I thought that was the greatest. I shared it with some people. I thought that was the greatest thing ever. Like, how many times did you have to hug somebody that you didn't want to hug, or give somebody a kiss, or go spend a night at somebody's house that you really didn't like, or you know what happened at that house, or how many times has that happened? If you are a parent, do you take into consideration when people ask for your kids to come over, or people talk to your kids? Do you do you have an eye? Do you watch? If you're a parent, I'm just asking. Especially if you know how you felt in certain situations. Or do you just be like, girl, go, I need to give me a break. I need to give me some wine. Let, do you pay attention? That's what I'm going to hear. I'm going to be the voice of reasoning. That's not my job, but that's what I'm going to be here for. I'm going to be the voice of reasoning. I'm going to be that voice that be like, you know what? You know how I be like, better, better, better. I say that because I want you to, I want it to deposit in your mind, in the back of your mind, where it's to be like, you know what? I deserve better. I deserve somebody who is going to love me throughout everything that I bring to them, and still find a place to say, you know what, I love you even more. I want someone to who is comfortable enough with me to say, you know what, babe, um, you are safe with me. I want someone I can feel safe with. Someone I don't have to feel like, oh, you gonna judge me because, oh, I didn't give this disclaimer, but this is a judgment free zone. Whatever you do in your life is what you do in your life. It don't pay my bills. It don't clothe me. It don't feed me. That's what you do in your life. But what what we not gonna do is we not gonna judge nobody, because however you cope or however you get through life is how you get through life. We are here to figure out how we gonna make it through the rest of this year, this week, actually, this week, tonight. How we gonna make it through? Because that's what it's all about. We survived 2020. We already past that. We are in 2021 now. I told someone, I said, from February to June, I am going to bust my ass and work as hard as I can, right? Because from July to December, I don't want to do anything but sit back and binge watch movies as I check my account from all of the things that I've worked hard for in February to June. And y'all probably like, how you gonna do that? Listen, where there is a will, there is a way. There's already things that I didn't even have a hand in, but somebody was just like, hey, you should meet this person. And this person was like, hey, I need you to join my team. Stuff has been happening. I'm just gonna say that. Things has been happening. And with the things that have been happening, I am going to watch what I tell y'all. Just watch. Y'all gonna watch. Y'all gonna see, because I'm taking y'all along with me. Y'all been here. Y'all been here helping me process, heal, let go. Y'all been here. Y'all been here. A lot of these things, like these YouTube videos. Oh, March. Let me tell y'all about my March. I'm gonna get back to the generational curses, but this is going into my March. March is March Madness. That's what they call it, March Madness, right? March about to go so crazy. When I tell y'all how crazy March is about to be, mainly because September, October, November, December, January, February was healing for me. March is month number 7. March is March. March is that time. March is March is March. Um, when I think about, I'm gonna tell you something. I'm back on generational curses, right? I talked to my auntie. Now, me and my auntie haven't really talked. Like, she's my auntie. She's like her and my mother are the only 2 siblings that are left. That's all that of my grandmother kids that are left. That's all they got. There are 2 sisters. My mom is the oldest and my auntie is the youngest. I began to rekindle a relationship with my auntie. Oddly enough, when all of this situation happened. My auntie, so I told you my grandmother didn't get married. My mother didn't get married, but my auntie has been married for quite some time. I want to say 20 plus years she's been married. And so I began to talk to my auntie and I began to ask her, how, or, what was the marriage like? Like, how did you, and she began to talk to me and she began to share with me things from her relationship. And I began to cry because I was just like, you know what? I should have talked to her before I got married. But I know everything. I don't know everything. I didn't know everything. It's just I was just like, I know that if I communicate, that's gonna work. If I show affection, that's gonna work. If I had all of these things, like, this is going to work. So when it didn't work, I would just sit back and was like, wow. There's other things that are in play with this whole situation, but we're gonna talk about that at a later time. But it was in talking to my auntie. This is why um, I say the importance of surrounding yourself with positive people and even people that are experienced. The video that should be up. I don't know. Let me see if it's up right now. The video that I uploaded today. I'm about to see if it's up there. I uploaded it. It's been uploading since 5. I can't spell. Um, the video I uploaded today is talking about experience. And my experience is, oh, it's up there. Actually, let me go and do this right now. It was talking about my experience and how my experiences in life has taught me strength. They taught me strength. They showed me how strong I am. They showed me not only me but people around me. They showed me how like when I said earlier about choosing sides, like I've never been the type to choose a side, to choose, okay, because this person isn't talking to you, I'm not going to talk to you, or because that has never been me. Like in my entire 40 years of living, I've never done that. I don't understand. I don't understand why people do that. I don't understand that dynamic. Um, So when people say they choosing sides, for me, it's what? How do you choose a side? Like when I build a relationship with someone, I look at it as I build a relationship with you. So however you enter my life, that's the relationship I have with you. So for me to have to in relationships because they chose to continue with the other person is, you see how all of that is that I don't I know that I don't want to be friends with someone who can't or I don't consider people my friends. I consider them family. So I don't want to be including you into my life and you are actually, where did that just go? I'm sorry, y'all. I'm trying to do two things at once. Um, YouTube. There we go. Okay. I don't want to include you in my life if that's not where you want to be. I don't want to do that. I don't want to make anyone feel like they are obligated to be my friend or obligated to hang out with me, or I don't want you to just hang out with me because of who I'm with. Because then that means, as I've just been shown, that you're not really here for me. You're just here for them. I'm no longer in the space as a 40-year-old. I am no longer in the space of having meaningless conversations, meaningless relationships, that be professional or personal. I'm no longer in that space. I'm no longer in the space of people just doing whatever and saying whatever they want to me. I'm no longer in that space. I told y'all earlier that I am no longer hiding behind silence. The veil has been ripped. I am out here. I'm out here. If situations happen, I'm gonna talk about them. That's what I'm here for, to talk. I'm here to share my experiences. I'm here to listen to your experiences. And as human beings, we grow, we progress, we become better. better, better people, better human beings, better wives, husbands, sisters, brothers, cousins, aunties, uncles, just better people. I'm holding myself accountable just like I'm holding all the people around me accountable. I'm holding you accountable for liking, commenting, and subscribing. Accountability, that's something that a lot of people don't have. And I wouldn't say that comes from the environment in which we grow up. I got this clipboard because I wrote some things down that I want to talk about. I want to make sure I keep my train of thought. I told you I'll be trying to keep things straight. Um, but I think that comes from the environment in which we grow up in. If you come from a household where they don't talk about stuff, like shit happened in your household, but nobody talk about it, parents, you're doing your child a great disservice by not talking about shit that happened to your child. That's just point blank, period. If your child says to you that their brother or their sister is beating them up, and you just like, oh, that's just what brothers do, or that's just what sisters do, you are only perpetuating the situation that's just going to happen. It's just going to be like, oh, well, this is just what people do. That's not what people do. It's not. Bullies aren't just bullies because they just bullies. No. Something happened to that bully. Just like I feel like something happened to that bully. And so because that bully has no one else to pick on, like maybe they're at home and they're getting beat up by their parents or their brother or sisters. So now they're taking what's happening at their house to another environment, and they're causing havoc on other people because of their home life isn't. Listen, we gonna talk. I'm talking about all this stuff. I'm addressing everything. Like feelings of abandonment. If your parents weren't there, you were definitely abandoned. I had my grandmother. I had my grandmother too, but the reality of it is the two people or the person that brought you into this world abandoned you. You probably never heard it like that, but they abandoned you. And you need to deal with that. You need to process that. If you were growing up and somebody were calling you fat all the time, oh, you look fat, you about big as a house. Look at you. That deposits. It deposits. You probably like, oh yeah, it means nothing. But then you start wearing waist trainers every day, or you working out, or you just eating salads, or you just doing things because now you have a fear of being bigger. You have a fear of being fat. It's a learned fear. Now, granted, people are big. Granted, people are fat. But some of these things come from our experiences. A lot of things come from our experiences. People who didn't have money when they were growing up now do things to get money. They move. Money moves them. They do things that they know they probably shouldn't be doing, but they getting money. And then you could tell. Let me ask you this, right? You know people who ain't never had money before, right? You know them. You know the people that's doing all the flashy. So you know, people know. I'm going to tell you how. Actually, look, I'm going to give you this. I'm going to give you this, right? Look at white rich and look at black rich. You just put color in this. Yes, I did, because look at it. Look at white rich and look at black rich. You will understand what I'm talking about. That's all I'm going to say. Look at white rich and look at black rich. We gonna wear our rich. We gonna make sure you know that I'm rich. A lot of times people don't even be rich. They just look rich. Me, I don't care. Let me tell y'all, the two most important bills, well, it's three now. Three important bills that I make sure that I take care of every month. Well, actually it's more, but these are the three main ones. I pay my rent. No, I do not own the house. We're going to talk about story time. We're going to story time that later. My rent, my lights, and my Wi-Fi bill. You know why I make sure? Because as long as I got a place to lay my head, I'm good. As long as I got lights where I can flick them on and I can watch TV or be on my computer making music, I'm good. And the Wi-Fi, I need Wi-Fi so I can talk to the people outside and so I can talk to y'all. Not just to talk to y'all, but so I can watch and stream and send music and send ideas and all this other stuff that's going on. That's why I need that. So those three things is things I take care of. I got a truck. I don't need no rim to my truck. It gets me from A to B to Z to it gets me everywhere I need to go. It's good. I have a TV. I have everything I need. I don't have to go above and beyond. I ain't going outside unless I go to the grocery store, and I got more than enough clothes and shoes that I haven't even things I have never even put my feet in because of the global pandemic. So I have tons of clothes and brand new shoes and everything. No, I mean, no one sees me. Y'all see me. I wear the t-shirt. That's where I'm at. If I have a Zoom call, of course, I get dressed up. I got my little background on my Zoom. Listen. But I am no longer here for generational curses, generational things. I am choosing. You want to know how you get rid of a generational curse? I wonder how this tastes on dragon fruit. You want to know how you get rid of a generational curse? Some people will tell you to give it to Jesus. I'm not against that. This is what I'm gonna tell you how to get rid of a generational curse. Talk about it. Talking ignites feelings. You gonna start talking about it and perfect example. I'm gonna give y'all a perfect example. Y'all probably be like, this ain't no perfect example. This is a good example, right? If we think about the case of Harvey Weinstein, Bill Cosby, R. Kelly, or pretty much anybody that has been in this situation, there has been more than one person have experienced. Y'all know where I'm getting at. More than one person have experienced that. First it was just one, but it just took one person with the courage to stand 10 toes down and say, this is what happened to me. And they didn't back down. Didn't back down, didn't change their mind, didn't change their story. Just one person. All it took was one person. And look at where we are right now. So I'm going to say this to you. All it takes is one person to break a generational curse. And how do you break a generational curse? Talking about it. If you feel that you were taken advantage of in a situation and you don't feel like it was taken care of properly, you know that you do have the ability to go to the authorities. I know you telling us yes. I'm telling you to make sure that you are okay. That's what I'm telling you to do. No, I'm not okay. I'm sad. I'm angry. I'm angry at the fact that I was silent about what's been going on. I've been covering. Covering is definitely a generational curse. Covering. I'm covering. Like, people will say things and I'm just like, no, that's not what it is. But in reality, that's what it is. If you know me and you know who used to be on this channel, you know what it is. It's social media. It's everywhere. There's no hiding. They're not hiding anything that they're doing. They're out there doing it. And I'm covering like, But all the while I was covering, I realized it was the cover that made me realize. It pulled the covers off of me to say, girl, you are doing yourself a great disservice. And I said to myself, I am. But guess what? I'm 40 and I am changing the trajectory of my life. I'm changing it. I'm going to start talking more. Making a couple of videos about it. Going live. I'm sharing it because this could definitely help someone. If you've been suffering in silence behind closed doors, you look all fancy when you get on the YouTube. You look all fancy when you go outside, when you go to church, or when you go to your job. But then you go back home and you terrified, or you sitting in your back room, or you sitting in the closet, or wherever you sitting at, or why you got this I got just water, but why you got to take a drink wine or shots or getting bottles every day, or popping pills or smoking or whatever you doing to numb the feeling. Don't numb it anymore. You survived a global pandemic. It's time to deal with it. It's time to heal from it. It's time to move through it, not past it, not over it, not around it. Move through it. It's time to destroy it and move through it. Especially if you have kids. And I'm saying this because you might not believe this or not, but your kids are watching you. Your kids are watching you. Your nieces and nephews are watching you. People are watching you. I'm going to tell you how I know people are watching. I know people are watching me. They're probably watching this right now. If they're not watching it now, they're going to come back and watch it. I said on one of my videos, I haven't spoken to Larisha. That's my wife. I haven't spoken to her in quite some time. I made a video and I said I have papers that need to be signed. I left a message way back when I got the papers. There was no communication or nothing. In 24 hours, she reached out to me. In 48 hours, I had the papers that I needed to be signed. Change. I'm telling you, you can do this. You can change. You probably like, well, I don't like to be alone, or I don't want to be the first one in my family to do it. Guess what? All it takes is one call, one text, one person to believe in you. All it takes is one. If you feel like you are not safe, or you are going to be a danger to yourself, you definitely want to call someone. You definitely want to get help. If you feel like you don't know where you're going in life, it's definitely important to talk to your people. Talk to the people around you. Talk to someone. Talk to anyone. I will always be a component or proponent, or however the word it is. Y'all know what I'm trying to say. I will always be the person that's going to say talk about it. And I'm not a person that's always saying talk about it, but will remain in silence about it. But not no more, though. Not no more. Your girl's about to talk. I'm not about to be doing all that kind of talk, but I'm about to talk about it. Because I feel like it needs to be talked about. Because what's happening right now is not cool. Like, if you are experiencing, like, if you grew up in a situation and there was some abuse in your situation, this definitely needs to be talked about. Definitely. How many people out here are going through life with childhood hurts, but trying to figure out how to, be adults? They're kids that were hurt when they were kids, but now they're adults and they're out here hurting people. The whole hurt people. I did that because y'all know what I'm saying. We gotta stop just putting the cover over things and just keep moving. No, I pulled the cover. The covers got pulled off of me today. Like, when I tell y'all, they were pulled. Like, they were pulled. When it was like, why are you covering for something that is so blatantly there? It's blatantly there. It's not even, they're not even trying to, they stopped talking to people because they didn't want those people to tell me what was going on, but they actually told me. Don't worry, it's a video. We gonna talk about that. But when I think about the reasoning behind that, and I think about generational curses, there's a tie. There's a tie in between that. When it's okay for you to do the things that you are doing, there's a tie between that. I'm here to dispel all myths. I'm here to encourage. I'm here to inspire. I'm here to share my story, and hopefully my story can help you. Even if you haven't experienced molestation, abuse, abandonment, alcoholism, marriage, divorce. If you haven't experienced any of those things, but something that I say in the midst of me talking about any of that helps you, I'm glad. Because we are in a space where we all need help. Like right now, I need help. I'm finding solace in just being here talking to you that are watching. It's helping me to talk. I could just be sitting in here like, oh, I can't believe. But when I'm telling you guys, when I accept the reality of this is what it is, and I said I wasn't fighting anymore. I'm not. I'm just not fighting. I'm not fighting. I'm 40 years of my life. I'm fighting. I'm fighting for people to hang out. I'm fighting for people to do all of this. And then the reality of it is I stepped back. I stepped back. I haven't called. I wasn't texting. I was the one to call. Hey, how you doing? Hope you have a good day. Hope you have a good week. I was doing that to like everybody. That was my thing. Texting people I haven't, I grew up with. Just hey, what's up? I just wanted to check in and see how you doing. Even during the pandemic, I was texting, calling everybody. But to not have that, to like not see, to actually see, like, okay, I'm gonna step back and see if somebody does it for me. But when I tell you it was four people who every day all the time was on me. Four people. And these four people has been here for decades. Decades. And for me, that says a lot for me. That says a lot. I'm grateful for those four people. I'm grateful for this entire experience. You would think that the situation that I'm going through, that I would be feeling some kind of way. I did say I was angry, but I'm not angry at the situation. I'm not angry. I'm literally not anything at the situation. I'm just angry at myself for being silent. That's what I'm angry at. I'm angry at continuing the whole silence thing. I'm not doing that. I talked to my niece and I was like, anything that happens to you, you shout it from the rooftops. All it takes is one. All it takes is one person to stand up and have courage. And I'm deciding in my life right now at 40 is I'm going to stand up and I'm going to have courage and I'm going to talk about it. I know me talking about it gonna ruffle a lot of feathers. I know that. I know me talking about it gonna cause people to make other videos and do all the other things that people do. It's okay. You are entitled to your opinion. But I do know this. Because I have a voice and because I am experiencing something that should not have happened, that shouldn't be happening, I definitely am going to talk about it. I'm ready to talk about it now. I could talk about it from a space of pure bliss, where had I talked about it in September, I would have been speaking from anger. Yeah, I would have been speaking from anger. So that's the part of this whole journey where it's like, okay, I understand that I would have said some things that I probably would have regretted. But I try to live my life with no regrets. So at this point in 40 years, I don't have any regrets. You would think I would regret my marriage. I don't. So many things came out of that. When I tell you, I'm definitely going to share with y'all what happened. There were some bad things. There were some, but do y'all see I'm smiling? Because it was more good. It's all, the good will always outweigh the bad. No one probably ever told you that. You probably never even think about that. But it always outweigh the bad. Always. Always. Always outweigh the bad. And for that I will forever be grateful. And I'm grateful to have this opportunity where I can say I am okay with myself. And I'm not okay. I'm okay with myself, but I am not okay right now. I am not. I am not okay. I know that I will be okay, but right now I'm not okay. And if you just tuned in, we're talking about generational curses and how things that our parents, our family members, ancestors, whoever you want to call the people that came before us, how the decisions that they made and the things that they do affect us, how our parents indirectly affect us, and the relationship that our parents have with each other indirectly affects us. The relationship that our parents have with our siblings who are older than us affects us. Um, how we interact with our siblings affect us. How we interact with our siblings' children affects us. Everything affects us. But some people have this thing where they just don't feel like they are affected by things. Everyone gets affected. It's how you deal with affection, deal with being affected. Some people drink it away, some people smoke it away, some people sex it away. Some people sex it away. Some people spend it away. Some people, you like spend it away. Yeah, listen. I used to spend a lot of money. This how I know, like, listen, I was spending it away, I was drinking it away, and then reality set in, and I was just like, no, I don't want to do that. Let me heal myself, not heal myself, like, but let me get to the root of the problem. And the root of the problem was what it was, and once I healed that root, I didn't. There was no reason for me to continue on doing that. You gotta get it at the root. And if you look at it, right, when you think about generational curses, if you think about it, if you think about what I just said about the root, many of the families start with the mother and the father, or just the mother. So that's the root of where the family grows out from. See what I just did there? It's the root. If we go back to the root, even if you go back to the grandmother or the grandfather, the grandparents in general, right? If you go back to them and what they experienced and how they raised your mother or father, it's the root of it. Things, oh, everybody's going to go to church, or everybody's going to go to the mosque, or everybody's going to go to the temple. That's just how it is, right? But the moment someone questions why you the why do you do that? Why? It's the why that gets people, right? So I'm going to encourage you in 2021 to always ask why. You should always ask why. Listen, I be asking so many questions. Um I just didn't ask questions around the situations because I was actually trying to process it. I've been processing it. And today, during meditation, it definitely got me in a place where I'm like, oh no, I'm definitely gonna talk about this. Have to. Have to. Not gonna overlook it, not just gonna sweep it under the rug. It's not just gonna be like, oh, that happened, now we're gonna move on. It's not gonna be that. Nah, that's not what it's gonna be. What we gonna do is we gonna talk about it. And I'm inviting you guys to talk and ask questions, and hey, no, I'm all about positivity. That's where I'm at. I said a couple of videos ago, hello, how are you? I said a couple of videos ago, actually 2 videos ago, I said I'm sticking with positivity over pettiness. Now, don't get me wrong, because I can get petty with the best of them, but I'm 40 years old. I got so many things going on for me right now. I got so many opportunities that I am in the midst of. So many things that you guys will see that I'm choosing positivity. I'm making a choice. Another thing that I realized in being 40 is like you have the choice to do a lot of things. You have a choice to be you have the choice to do some downright dirty stuff to people, or you have the choice to just be like, you know what, I understand where you come from, and when you're ready to talk about it, we can talk about it. I respect your decision, but I don't understand why you made the decision. I get it, you're probably not ready to talk about it right now, but eventually, one day, I hope that you find the courage, you are mature enough, and you find the courage to come and talk to me. That's where I'm at right now in my life. You probably in your life is like, yeah, I'm gonna always choose positivity. You probably like in your life was like, well, I'm going to show them. Let me tell you that I'm gonna show you that don't work. Cause you killing yourself to show somebody who, number one, don't care about nothing that you doing at all. Especially if you out here trying to buy stuff to flex on other people. Those people don't care. They probably just looking at you like, oh, they slow. Why'd you go spend your money on that? Listen, I'm here. This is a safe space. If you got something you want to talk about, if you got a topic that you want to talk about, this generational curse didn't come from me. It came, I mean, it was brought to me. It was like, hey, you should talk about it. And I was like, okay, I'm going to talk about it. Because I've experienced a generational curse. The thing that I said was silence. I watched my mother give every dime, quarter, penny, nickel she fed people. She done a lot, and at the same time she was doing a lot, people were dragging her name through the mud. They were just doing all kinds of things, and she just was silent. Silent. And it was during meditation today that I just was like stripped of everything that I thought I knew to be true. And I realized that it's the silence. It's the silence and it's the covering. Now, when I say cover, I'm not going to be I'm not a disrespectful person. If you watch any videos, attended any of my lives, I'm not a disrespectful person. I don't even give that kind of energy. However, I'm not going to be disrespectful. I'm going to talk about it from my perspective, where I'm at with it, how I experienced it. And I invite anybody who has been a part of any one of these things to come on this channel, come on these lives and talk. I invite you. I welcome you. I'm always down for a conversation, always. But yeah, I just wanted to. I'm just here to talk about things that I feel people don't talk about, and I feel like a lot of people have experienced so many different things where it's just like normal. Like, how come we can't normalize holding people accountable for the bullshit that they do? Because a lot of people is doing a lot of bullshit. I'm sorry if you're not used to hearing curse words. I'm sorry. I said this wasn't for kids, so. But yeah, I'm all for holding myself accountable. I'm all for holding the people around me accountable also. And that's why one of my things is surrounding yourself with positive people that's going to hold you accountable. Hold you accountable for doing things, hold you accountable for saying things, just hold you accountable. Like Um, my younger brother is good at holding me accountable. He'll call me and be like, "Well, you said," and I was like, "Mm-hmm, I sure did. I sure did." And that's all I can say is, "I sure did." That's it. I'm not trying to. Oh well, no, I sure. That's what I said. And because I'm a woman of my word, that's what I'm gonna do. I also got good at not telling people what I was gonna do. I just do it. I don't have any time for um I'm not one for telling people to choose sides. Like, could somebody explain that to me? Who developed the you got to choose a side, you got to pick a side? But I can understand where that logic comes from generationally. I get it. But I've never that's something until I didn't experience that. I didn't experience that until I turned 40. Where someone has decided they're going to choose sides. I just think, like, as an adult, you should be able to make your own decisions, and you should be able to. I don't. I don't know. I just be struggling sometimes thinking about other adults and their thought process. I don't spend too much time thinking about that because I don't want that to take away from me. But I don't know. I definitely think about that. I think about like I think about all of my friends who had to come out of a closet or come out of the closet. In the process of them coming out of the closet, um, I was able to experience firsthand what it was like for someone I loved to come out of the closet, and it was really an emotional freeing, liberating, all of the words that you could put there. It was an experience. It wasn't an experience that I personally had to endure. Um, but just watching them go through that experience, it felt like it was actually me. Like watching them say, hey, I'm gay. And I know that because of our religious beliefs that you're going to feel some kind of way. The fact that religion, God, Jesus, Buddha, Allah, whoever it is that you, the deity that you serve, would cause you to look at a person outside of being a human being, you would look at them and say, you know what, I can't associate, I don't approve, or I don't, especially when that deity is love. I am so grateful to have been born into the family in which I was born in. Like every family has a struggle. Every family has something. I'm just glad that my family's struggles were what they were. And I'm glad that despite our family struggles, um, communication was like the foundation of it. That was the root. That was something my grandmother instilled in every one of her children, and they instilled it into their children. So we all understand the importance of communicating. And I know that as an adult, that if I don't tell you how I feel or I don't share with you guys what's going on with me, y'all wouldn't know. You could assume, you can guess, but until I actually open my mouth and say how I'm feeling, you wouldn't know. So, look, I'm about to wrap it up. So I gotta play my wrap up music. Yes, I do have wrap up music. Um, I'm not wrapping it up right now. I'm probably gonna go for like maybe 5 more minutes. I don't know. But if y'all can't tell, I like to talk. I've been talking this whole time. I like to talk. Um, I forgot where I was, but I'm just gonna say like I like to talk. I think it's important for people to be able to communicate and express how they feel. I am um, on a journey of healing, on a journey of self discovery. I'm discovering things about myself. Um, Many of the things that I've discovered is just mind blowing. Mainly because you know you like you know who you are, but you experience things, and those things that you experience kind of makes it overshadows things. So on this journey, I've been letting go and I've been healing, and I've been making music. I made this. I made the other song that you heard too, but I've been making music, and I've been writing, and I've been creating. I just, it's like I found the essence of where it all started, and I'm just able to do it freely again. No, no struggling. Like I could just sit down and just write. Like it just flows. Like there is no blockage. It's just there. It just flows. When I thought about I was presented with an opportunity and I had to put my resume together. And I'm not one to talk about, like, hey, I did this. I did share with y'all that I did the documentary because that blew my mind, like, blew my mind. So as I was putting my resume together and I was writing down all of my skills and the jobs that I had and the opportunities, I literally cried. Like, I've been, this the most I think I've cried in 40 years. Like, these last 6 months, I've cried. And I mean, when I say cry, I cry like, you get snot bubbles when the kids is, you see the kid. I've got those kind of cries. I've cried to where my eyes were like literally puffy. I didn't realize how freeing crying was until these past 6 months. Was definitely, that's free. Like, it's, and breathing. Like, you probably like, you breathe every day, but like, there's no struggle. There's just, and just the peace. Like, when I tell you, like, it's just happiness at the most purest, rawest. It's that. It's truly all of that. Yes, that. I'm sorry. I just, it's that. It's all of that. It's just being totally in love with yourself and all of your imperfections, and knowing that as long as you're willing to put in the work, you can change that. Listen, I've been juicing. I said February 1st I was going to start juicing, and I was going to juice every day. I've been juicing for 21 days. I said I wanted to alkaline my body back. I've said that for years, but September, when the situation kicked off, I said I'm detoxing. I'm detoxing everything. My mind, my heart, my body. I'm detoxing everything. Um, and I've been doing that. And the more that I eat healthy, the more that I eat right, the more that I drink more water, the more that I just do, I read, the more that I just breathe and meditate and just feed positivity into myself, the more I feel positive, the better I feel, the better things around me are getting. I mean, life is good. Life is good. I just want to thank y'all for joining me. Um, this is Chelle's Closet. I'm on this journey to self-discovery and healing, and I'm inviting you to join me as I go. I'm going to talk about everything. This probably won't be the first. This is the first time, but it definitely won't be the last. We talk about generational curses. We talk about everything. I'm going to talk about everything because I feel like I wish somebody would have said some stuff to me, and I'm going to be that person for you. If you haven't already, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and hit the notification bell to be notified the next time that I go live or just upload anything on this channel. You could go right up here to the community tab and vote for a song, any song that you want to hear me sing next Saturday for Saturday Night Vibes. So here's what I'm gonna do, right? I'm thinking March Madness. I want to elevate. We're gonna elevate Saturday Night Vibes. We're gonna elevate it. I'm gonna give y'all a word. So next Saturday, I'm gonna give y'all a word, right? And then, or y'all gonna give me a word. You give me a word, and I'm gonna find all the songs with the word in it, and then I'm gonna let y'all choose which song I sing. It's March Madness. We going here. Do you see? You can't see where I'm going, right? Because that's where I'm going. I'm going up there. But yeah, this week we got songs that were top votes, but they didn't win. So go ahead and vote for that. If you haven't already, go ahead and check out the video I just uploaded talking about experiences. And yeah, stay tuned because I have some things coming for you guys. I'm excited. I haven't been more excited to talk about the things that I'm doing or that I have my hands in. I haven't been more excited to talk about that. Like, this last 2 years is definitely mind-blowing, like literally mind-blowing. I hope that you have a wonderful evening. I'm gonna go ahead and sign off because I gotta get back to work. But until next time.